We are a Finnish development and humanitarian organization founded actually way back 1947, and we have been dealing in long-term development, humanitarian work and advocacy. Our work takes more of a rights-based approach whereby we are fulfilling the rights of the rights holders, and we don't want them to only be as receiving beneficiaries. We hope we have a duty and obligation to fulfill the rights of the less privileged people, members of the society.
In Uganda, we are basically more concentrating ourselves on two. And the first one is education, right to education. And then the second one is right to livelihoods. Those are the main two areas which we are promoting and supporting as FCA in Uganda, but we also have another component, the right to peace.
So we are supporting South Sudanese refugees, Congolese refugees. We also have Burundians, Somalis in the country. But the biggest focus of our work now is focusing on South Sudanese refugees, more specifically in the settlements that we have visited. Vidiworth refugee settlement and Ajumani. Pagrinya is part of Ajumani, one of the settlements in Ajumani. We are looking at education in emergency. Basically in humanitarian work, we usually begin with life-saving activities. We provide water, food, health, and education is like thought about like kind of second or third option. And when a conflict or disaster happen, education is the first sector to be disrupted, and it's unfortunate that it is also the last one to be thought about. So Finchurch Aid, looking at Finland's education expertise, we are an implementing partner for UNHCR and UNICEF. We also have funding from the European Union humanitarian aid funding, and the biggest component of our work is education. We look at education as a strong tool for protection, because when refugees or children are in such situations, protection is one of the key aspects. Therefore, for us, our education approach looks more to demonstrate that if we keep children in school, there can be less harm against them, less violence from communities or at home. So we focus so much on education work.
I am happy that Finnish church aid helped us so much and put up very good infrastructure that would make a good school.
Church aid came with a unique approach. Did not only come to get financial resources from only one donor, especially UNHCR, but they had also an approach where the government of Finland, through their Ministry of Foreign Affairs, was able to extend support in this intervention. Specifically in Zone 3, we are able to find that through Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Finland, they were able to give support to schools like Kongbe Primary School, is a government-aided primary school, Mengo Primary School, and they are coming to these schools and enhance the support of physical infrastructure in these schools, because at the beginning the enrollments went very big and the classrooms there were very inadequate. They have also not only done this, they recruited additional teachers that on top of those they received from Window Trust. They were able to give these schools books. They were able to train these teachers.
We have tailored trainings for teachers and even for community members to appreciate that all the children, including children with the special needs, can be able to access education and should be supported to access education. As FCA, it's one of our niche, endeavoring that inclusive education includes all these categories of children.
What I've learned is handling this learner with the visual problem, like the braille. I didn't know completely. But after the training, right now, if you tell me to write in braille ABC, I can write it very well.
Some of us didn't know how well we can cater for refugees in due course of learning, because we will take them in the same way we take the Ugandan children, not knowing that it is the refugees' children who are more traumatized than the Ugandan children in a situation when they're like this together.
One of the things I learned is how to identify the children with the special needs, and then how you can engage them in learning. Because previously, without having those skills, you cannot identify even a child whether the person is suffering or is not suffering, because some of the impairments, they are not directly seen on the children unless you're given some skills and techniques on how to identify them. So after the training, I was able to know some of those skills, how to identify them.
As we talk right now, for example, within this 1.5 or 2 years that we have been operating in Bidibidi, we have been able to attract over 800 children with disabilities in school, in the various schools that we are supporting.
In this refugee settlement, one of the biggest gaps has been the provision of accommodation for staff who came from different corners of the country to help with the refugee response. But FCA have done their best to address both working space and living space.
So with some resources from our different donors, more especially MFA, we've got some funding also from ECHO, we've got some funding from UNHCR. We have endeavored to put some accommodation for teachers to try to improve their living conditions so they can deliver effectively, but also to facilitate their ability to come and teach on time and enable children to learn on time.
You can even see me smiling when I'm seated now under the shade like this. So the experience that I have got with this new the new tukulus that they have brought, it is really very good. We are now able to sleep comfortably, and we wake up very early to start our lessons. So we are managing time because we are sleeping comfortably. Now our things are just safe.
Livelihoods is one of the key elements that we have identified with very big gaps that needs a lot of attention to help refugees be more resilient, to supporting their own families sustainably, to have income and survive. So we want to see that we strengthen the capacities of these refugees and some of the members of from the host community to be in a position to respond to their own needs from their own small earnings at least.
It is really helping us much. Later on, when ours also produce, we can take one, then sell it out. After selling it out, then we can able to acquire maybe things like uniform, things like a pen, pencil for our children, pay even the school fees.
I think they've been the most transparent partners, that we work together as a team, we identify our gaps together, we fix them together. So it's very easy to know what Finchurch Aid is doing, and that's what accountability is all about, working as a team to fix the existing challenges. So we appreciate that kind of partnership and pray that it can continue flourishing until we can solve the last problem of refugees in education.
I would like to appreciate the support of the Ministry for Foreign Affairs of Finland, that without their financial support, we would not be able to support all this work that we are doing. So we really appreciate their support, the funding, and we look forward to continue working with them.
Thank you.